like a loaded dice. Every truth came wrapped in lies. I kept believing what you sold. Turned my heart into your home. But every crack inside these walls shows the truth behind it all. I tried to fix what you denied, but truth can't live where secrets hide. I'm walking out your house of lies. Brick by brick it falls tonight. No more tears, no more disguise. I'm done living in your house of lies. Your pretty words can't pull me back. All your stories fade to black. Watch it crumble in my eyes. I'm done living in your house of lies. Every sorry sound is sweet, but the truth was underneath. Every time I looked your way, there was something you wouldn't say. I was drowning in your game. Every promise felt the same. Now the smoke has cleared away, and I'm finally walking away. I gave you chances, one too many, but broken trust won't heal for any. I'm walking out your house of lies. Brick by brick it falls tonight. No more tears, no more disguise. I'm done living in your house of lies. Your pretty words can't pull me back. All your stories fade to black. Watch it crumble in my eyes. I'm done living in your house of lies. No more shadows in the hall. No more pictures on the wall. Everything we tried to be was never built on honesty. I'm walking out your house of lies. Let it burn into the night. No more tears, no more disguise. I'm done living in your house of lies. Brick by brick it fades away. Nothing left for me to stay. Watch it crumble in my eyes. Goodbye to your house of lies. I'm walking out your house of lies. Let it burn into the night. No more tears, no more disguise. I'm done living in your house of lies. Brick by brick it fades away. Nothing left for me to stay. Watch it crumble in my eyes. Goodbye to your house of lies.
Tell me how. I got nothing to say. my goodness.
But JD, you didn't play Red Skies, JD.
Normally I do. But here's the thing, it wasn't that palpable terrible that we usually get. It was bad, but there was some good. Mainly from Sami Zayn. Gunther has chosen his stipulation, and Sami Zayn is part of that stipulation. The King and Queen of the Ring quarterfinals are over. Now, on one hand, we have Charlotte advancing on the women's side. Unfortunately, we'll be yeeting into the semifinals. And I really don't know what Triple H is doing at all with the King of the Ring tournament. I told you. He's going to scare the living shit out of us with Jey Uso versus Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about this overly mid episode of Friday Night SmackDown. 2 weeks to go before they move back to 2 hours, man. I can't wait. We're going to talk about it at the Beer Garden. And when I get there on this very hot Friday night, I want to know, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there. This isn't about errors. It also isn't about excuses. WWE has failed creatively. AEW has failed fundamentally. So why did Triple H lose the plot? Why did Tony Khan abandon everything that made AEW special? Because nobody is committed to the one thing that actually matters: long-term booking. What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your Friday Night SmackDown post-show for June 12th, 2026. I'm your host, JD, from New York, as always, coming to you live from the OTS venue inside the OTS Beer Garden. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on this Friday evening, wherever you may be. SmackDown has largely been shit for many, many, many weeks.
We only have to put up with 3-hour SmackDowns for just another 2 weeks, chat. Just another 2 weeks. And then we go back to the show being a normal 2 hours. Over the last several weeks, the show has been largely fucking terrible. If you think SmackDown has any redeeming qualities at all, let me rephrase that. If you think SmackDown is a good show weekly, you may have some really, really, really serious problems. It's one of the worst shows that I've seen in a very long time. And on any given week, it rivals Dynamite for the worst show of the week. There is one gleaming beacon of light on this show. One. His name is Sami Zayn. You might not be a ride or die Sami Zayn fan. You might not be a Sami Zayn fan at all. I am a Sami Zayn fan. I've been a fan of Sami Zayn for many, many, many years, dating back to when he first got to NXT Black and Gold. And he looked like a little kid. El Generico, no more. Dating back to his feud in the very early ages of Black and Gold with Kevin Owens. Sami Zayn is the most interesting character. He's the most interesting pro wrestler in all of WWE right now. He may be the most interesting and intriguing character in all of pro wrestling. I'm including him in the discussion between both companies. I was a little skeptical of this Sami Zayn kind of playing out how he feels on a week-to-week basis, riding the waves of the fan reaction in regards to Sami Zayn. All of a sudden, he donned the gimmick of the last good guy in WWE, the last real good guy in WWE. I didn't know where it was going to go. I didn't know what they were doing. At one point, you got a feeling that Sami Zayn was on the cusp of maybe going after the WWE Championship, winning a World Heavyweight Championship in this company for the first time ever. They tried and tried and tried. And it seemingly got worse and worse and worse every single time. The last true, genuine, heartfelt, absolutely the right time to pull the trigger on Sami Zayn winning the World Heavyweight Championship was at Elimination Chamber a couple of years ago when he wrestled Roman Reigns in Montreal. And that was after he stabbed Roman Reigns in the back as the honorary Uso at the Royal Rumble. Unfortunately, it wasn't Sami Zayn's story. It wasn't Sami Zayn's title to win. It was always meant for Cody. It was always going to Cody. He did get a main event out of it. He main evented night one with his best friend against the Usos, and they won the tag team titles. But it's not the WWE Championship. I don't think anybody disagrees with me that at that point in time, Sami Zayn should have won the WWE title. Now we fast forward 3 years later. He's had a rocky start to start 2026. And after WrestleMania, it didn't even look all that good. But over the last month and a half, Sami Zayn has easily become the most interesting character on the show. And tonight was one of the best in-ring segments in pro wrestling all year. Tonight was one of the best in-ring segments that WWE's done all year. And it was probably Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn's best in-ring segment individually all year. And I'm heaping praise on it because this is a show that has been without any sort of meaning all year. And we've called out the bad many, 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 many times. And on the other hand, I have to call out the good when it happens because we don't really get any. This was a tremendous piece of television. Sami Zayn is a great promo. He's one of the only people in the company that still pulls on the heartstrings, doesn't mix up his words, he doesn't stutter, and everything that comes out of his mouth is heartfelt, genuine, and real. This is why I'm a fan of Sami Zayn. The marks will say ride or die. I'm a big fan of Sami Zayn. He reminds me of Mick Foley. The way he speaks, the way he carries himself. He's just got that everyday, normal man charisma. And I'm here for it. He went back and forth with Cody Rhodes tonight. We'll get into the dialogue and what was actually said a little bit later. But they went back and forth tonight. And it resulted in Sami getting upset at Cody. Wanting Cody to show up as Cody and not the American Nightmare and not put on the suit and be a politician and play a gimmick and just be this over-embellished character. He wanted to level with Cody, and he wanted Cody to level with him man to man. They're in the ring as two good friends, two human beings. Cody threw it right back at him. You want me to tone it down? You want me to shed the gimmick? Bro, you're wearing a newly marketed WWE branded t-shirt with your new catchphrase on it. Yet you want me to tone down what I do. Cody came to the realization that Sami Zayn is not who he says he is. He thinks Sami Zayn's playing it up. And he thinks Sami Zayn is jealous of him. He's envious of where Cody is. And he said, you can say anything you want about me, but I know we're in the ring tonight face to face because of what I have in my possession, and that's the WWE Championship, and that's all it's ever been about. They even went on back and forth. Cody and Sami went on back and forth about WrestleMania 40. Sami throwing it in Cody's face that he hasn't been the man that he thought he was. That Sami's always been Sami Zayn. He's been the same guy ever since Cody won the title and finished his story. He told Cody that he was the first guy out there. He was the first man out there out of everybody to celebrate with Cody in Philadelphia at the end of WrestleMania 40, Night 2. I don't think that's a fake friendship, Cody. In oh so many words, Sami Zayn said to Cody. The segment ended with Sami slapping Cody in the face. Cody slapped Sami right back. Sami did not like that. Cody didn't like that. Sami was so upset he went to go get a steel chair. He thought better of himself and he walked away. Later in the night, Gunther, he teased coming out of last week that he got lawyers involved, that he's got a stipulation that he's got to look over with his lawyers, and he's going to let everybody know this week. For a WWE Championship opportunity under his provisions next week in Kansas City on Friday Night SmackDown. Gunther gave us the stipulation. After what he saw in the ring tonight, his stipulation was Sami Zayn will be the special guest referee between him and Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship on SmackDown next Friday in Kansas City. I said this on Tuesday Night Titans, and Solomonster and I floated ideas back and forth. I said maybe it's a submission match. We came to the realization that a submission match might not work. Then I floated the idea, what if Sami Zayn ends up being the special guest referee? Ding, ding, ding. We floated a bunch of ideas last week, or this actually past Tuesday on Tuesday Night Titans, and that is what they landed on. That idea came from yours truly. And the reason why I said it is because Sami Zayn has been such an integral part in this storyline. You put him in that position, it gives you the wide array of unpredictability. And what have I complained about, chat? I've complained about for a very, very long time that there's no long-term booking, that there's no vision, there's no long-term storytelling. It's week to week, championship feuds after 1 week, championships defended for no reason, open challenges. The one thing that I said outside of all that noise is the fact that pro wrestling today is not in a good place as far as being unpredictable. How do you look at this and not think unpredictable? You don't know which Sami Zayn you're going to get next week. You don't know who's going to walk out the WWE Championship. Sami Zayn, he could fuck up. He could lose his marbles. He could cost Cody the championship next week. We could be looking at Gunther hold the WWE Championship walking out of Kansas City next week. Do I think that's going to happen? No, I do not think Gunther is going to walk out of Kansas City as the new WWE Champion. He can come to the realization and come to his senses that he really is a friend of Cody Rhodes, and he's genuinely sorry. Cody Rhodes could walk out and still the WWE Championship with the WWE Championship. I do think that happens, but I don't think Cody Rhodes walks away unscathed. What we're looking at is a situation, and this is where the unpredictability part comes in. It might sound predictable, but this is where the unpredictability part comes in. I think Sami Zayn's inclusion next week is going to lead to a triple threat match at Night of Champions between Cody Rhodes, Gunther, and Sami Zayn. The reason why I say that is because if you do Cody and Gunther again, you cannot have Cody beat Gunther again. You can't. Gunther walking into another match, a third match with Cody, is suicide. He's already been booked like shit. If you put him in a third match against Cody at Night of Champions, he's losing. And Gunther can ill afford a loss. So Sami Zayn is going to get involved. We're going to get a triple threat match. And we're going to get Cody versus Sami versus Gunther at Night of Champions, triple threat match for the WWE Championship. And this is where the unpredictability part comes in, chat. And you might not agree with what I have to say. And this is absolutely on that hot topic level, a hot take level. I'm putting the WWE Championship on Sami Zayn. Some people were telling me, JD, you're crazy. Do you want to tank the ratings? What are you talking about? Sami Zayn's not a world championship caliber performer. Well, yes, he is, number one. He is. He has been. WWE's the one that missed the boat on that. He absolutely is. But for a show that has been largely the worst television show in all of pro wrestling in 2026 and beyond, you're asking me why I'm putting the title on Sami Zayn, and you're coming to me with the excuse of, oh, it's going to tank the ratings? Bro, the ratings are already in the fucking toilet. Sami Zayn can do no worse. The reason why they're in the fucking toilet is because of the champion that currently holds the title. And the creative. You think that Sami Zayn is going to tank the ratings worse than Cody Rhodes? The reason why people are so disinterested, the reason why people are so disenfranchised is because of Cody Rhodes being the WWE champion, having the same feud every single time he feuds with somebody. His good guy act is tiresome. His gimmick is tiresome. Underneath that is a tremendous storyteller. Underneath that is one of the best storytellers in the fucking industry. He needs to turn heel. He's been getting away with murder every single heel he feuds with. He's a babyface operating as a heel because he won't completely turn to the dark side. The more you run that act over and over and over and over again, and the more you run it into the ground, the more people are going to lose interest. You're making everybody else look bad for Cody Rhodes. Now you got the opportunity to tell a story with somebody that has largely not been interesting and all of a sudden has become the most interesting character in all of WWE. I don't see what the big deal is to put the WWE title on Sami Zayn for a month. Why not? Do you realize what we're looking at? I doubt it happens. But right now, you got a King of the Ring tournament where you have Javon Evans, who's not winning, Femi, which is a big question mark, because we don't know where or when Brock Lesnar is going to screw him over, Dominic Mysterio, who's not winning, and then you got Jey Uso. This is what you've boiled the King of the Ring down to. And you're asking me why I'm putting the title on Sami Zayn? I'm putting the title on Sami Zayn because right now, the way you look at it and the way you're looking at the current field of competitors right now for WWE for both world championships, Sami Zayn gives you the most interesting option for a one-on-one match at SummerSlam. A SummerSlam that is a two-night show and will be headlined by Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. I find that to be highly engaging. In fact, it may end up being the best feud that Cody Rhodes has had since his little mini feud with Kevin Owens. You might not like the sound of Sami Zayn as the WWE champion. You might not like Sami Zayn, period, and might not look at him as a WWE championship type of guy. But who is on Friday Night SmackDown? Who is? When you come up with a name, you let me know. We're crying for unpredictability. We're crying for something different. We're crying for story. You're getting it. You're getting it with Sami Zayn. You're getting it with Gunther choosing Sami Zayn as the special guest referee. You're going to get it if we get a triple threat match. And if Sami Zayn wins the WWE Championship in Saudi Arabia, where he does have a lot of ride or die fans, and it makes sense. Sami Zayn's this international hero. He goes to Italy, he gets cheered. He goes to Paris, he gets cheered. He goes to Saudi Arabia, he gets cheered. He goes to London, he gets cheered. He comes to the United States, he gets booed. Sami Zayn winning the championship from Cody Rhodes in Saudi Arabia is the play. For a SmackDown show that largely has nothing else going on for it. You do realize that we are headed towards the Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes main event for SummerSlam. And then you're asking me why I want Sami Zayn to win the WWE Championship. I don't think you have any idea what WWE is doing. With the Bloodline and the fact that the Bloodline's all over the show and Jey Uso won his quarterfinal match tonight. You do realize that we're headed towards disaster, and you're asking me why. Why are you putting the title on Sami Zayn, JD? Because I'm begging for something different. I'm begging for something new. You're never going to have another opportunity to do it either. This is it. If WWE misses this window on Sami Zayn, there is no other window. The window's closed. You had it in Montreal. You might have had it earlier in the year, but they didn't really do their due diligence to tell that story properly. Now they are, and now he's in a position to do it all over again, and you're going to miss that window again? It's time to pull the trigger. Now, this is just me thinking out loud. This is just me summarizing after watching a 3-hour SmackDown. I don't know where WWE's going. On one hand, we got Femi and Dominic Mysterio. On the other hand, we got Jey Uso and Javon Evans on Monday. By all accounts, it looks like WWE may go Jey Uso winning this tournament. If WWE isn't setting Oba Femi and Javon Evans up for the finals, I really don't know what the fuck we're doing. I really don't. Where's Brock Lesnar going to show himself? That's the big, big, big assumption in the community. Where is Brock Lesnar going to fuck over Oba Femi? Is it going to be in Baltimore on Monday? Is it going to be in Saudi Arabia at Night of Champions? Have him taste the finals and then fuck him over? On one hand, I ask, why would Brock want to travel 14, 15, 16 hours to Saudi Arabia to go F5 somebody that he could F5 in Baltimore? He's not scheduled to have a match in Saudi Arabia. Why fly him all the way over there? Why would he want to go over there to begin with? If we're not getting Oba and Javon Evans in the finals, I don't know what the fuck we're doing. Oba and Javon is what you look for in a King of the Ring because it's the future of the company. You got Oba, who's the future of the company. Everyone's big on Javon Evans as well. This is what the King of the Ring tournament should be used for. Giving others a platform, giving the future a platform to show us what the company is going to have in the future. Who the stars of tomorrow are going to be. Not Jey Uso, not Dominic Mysterio, not LA Knight. If we don't get Oba and Javon, we may be looking at Brock fucking over Oba, giving Dominic the win, and we may be looking at Jey Uso versus Dominic Mysterio in the finals. And then the backlash on social media, I'm going to be that gif that pulls up the lawn chair watching the fucking children's baseball game with a fucking ice cold beverage in my hand. That's what I'm going to be doing. With my sunglasses on. WWE is running a huge risk. This has not been a good year creatively. If they are thinking at all about Jey Uso in the finals against Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam, brother, you are absolutely out to lunch. Triple H is going to be one of those guys that is absolutely fucking terrible at reading the room. On one hand, I can believe they're going to do it. On the other hand, I can't physically wrap my head around them doing that and fucking up everything and showing the fan base that they don't give a fuck about anything. That we do not listen to what we want. I don't give a shit how many people are yeeting in the crowd. Jey Uso is not wanted in the main event of SummerSlam for a two-night SummerSlam in Minneapolis. He's not. It's not going to be a good match. It's not going to be a good story. And I don't give a fuck about Jey Uso challenging for a World Heavyweight Championship as long as he is an active professional wrestler. We've been there and done that, and you failed already at it. Now you want to do it again? If WWE goes Oba winning the King of the Ring, Oba's going to get either Cody or Roman at SummerSlam, and he's got to get Brock before SummerSlam. But again, I can't wrap my head around WWE basically teasing this match for a third time, having Oba go out there 2 weeks in a row, basically calling out Brock for a third match. Brock already telling everybody at the end of their match in Italy, we're now 1-1. By that logic, we need a third match. Why would you bypass Brock Lesnar wrestling Oba Femi in Minneapolis to do it where? To do it where? In New York City? That also runs into a problem as well. If you do that, Brock is going to have to lose. Then who does he wrestle at SummerSlam? Does he retire at SummerSlam? Are we under the assumption he retires at SummerSlam? Maybe he gets Gunther at SummerSlam. I don't know why you would put him in that situation. Gunther's absolutely going to need a win if that's the case. The King of the Ring tournament, right now, it's either Oba or Jey. Javon Evans is not getting a world championship match, and neither is Dominic Mysterio. It's either Oba wins it, and we get the Brock match early, or Jey Uso wins it, and Brock Lesnar takes out Oba, and he fucks him over. The other idea is, and this is where things get a little dicey. There's been a lot of rumors about CM Punk. There's been 2 rumors about CM Punk in the last 48 hours. 3 in the last 48 hours. One of those 3 is absolute comedy. One of the rumors is that WWE and CM Punk had a falling out, and CM Punk is disgruntled with his current standing creatively in WWE. That is not true at all. CM Punk tonight was announced for Fanatics Fest. If he was disgruntled with WWE, he wouldn't be making public relations appearances for WWE on behalf of the company for Fanatics Fest. So that deads that narrative right there. And that's in July on the road to on the road to SummerSlam. That's 2 weeks before SummerSlam in Minneapolis. So, false. The other rumor is CM Punk is going to AEW because he's disgruntled with WWE. Ladies and gentlemen, if CM Punk walks back into AEW, I'll sit on this fucking stream wearing a cat costume. Ears and all. Never going to happen. In fact, a move like that would tarnish his career. He's not going back to AEW. That's a rumor the Sickos started because they dearly miss CM Punk, and they're still disgruntled that he left them high and dry. Yes, I know, Sickos, you want your CM Punk back, your beloved CM Punk. Well, let me tell you something, motherfucker. You can't have him. You can't have him. AEW is not a real business. He wanted it to be a real business, which is why he took his business to WWE. The other rumor is CM Punk is going to SmackDown, which I think is the right move. He's not needed on Monday night to do what? Who would he feud with on Monday night? Roman? We've seen it. Been there, done that. Jey? Oba? Who's on Monday Night Raw you want to see CM Punk feud with? The World Championship title picture on Monday is very much taken care of. CM Punk's presence makes SmackDown much more interesting. I feel like CM Punk will end up on SmackDown. But how do we get him on SmackDown? He just can't show up randomly on Friday Night SmackDown. You got to make sense of it. They're not going to trade CM Punk to Friday Night SmackDown willingly. CM Punk is going to have to go to SmackDown by force. How do we do that? Well, we also talked about this on Tuesday Night Titans, and Solomon came up with the conclusion that we may be looking at this all wrong. WWE really teased Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi 3 at SummerSlam. To do it anywhere else would be ludicrous. If you take Oba Femi out of the King of the Ring tournament, you're left with Jey Uso winning the King of the Ring tournament, and that is not going to be acceptable. Javon Evans is not winning the tournament, and neither is Dominic Mysterio. So the idea that he came up with, and I could see this happening, I would find this to be a very ballsy move by WWE if they wanted to do that. But Oba gets taken out of the tournament completely. He doesn't wrestle Dominic Mysterio. He gets taken out before he wrestles Dominic Mysterio by Brock. If you are going to be in the King of the Ring tournament and you're calling me out and you're asking for my head on a platter, you ain't making it to the semifinals. Brock would take Oba out. there would be a vacant spot. Finn Balor was the only SmackDown talent that had a shot to advance to the semifinals. We are looking at all 4 of the semifinalists coming from Raw. I find that to be a bit odd. Don't you? There's not one SmackDown represented talent in the King of the Ring tournament? Might as well just have the entire tournament take place on Raw. Balor just got moved over there. He was the last true hope for SmackDown to get a semifinalist, and he lost. If Brock takes out Oba, CM Punk would still be a Raw superstar. He would take Oba's spot. He would get Dominic Mysterio. CM Punk would beat Dominic Mysterio. CM Punk would then go on to the finals in Saudi Arabia, and he would wrestle Jey Uso. CM Punk beats Jey Uso. CM Punk goes to SummerSlam. CM Punk chooses Cody Rhodes. CM Punk ends up on Friday Night SmackDown. A SmackDown superstar now wins the King of the Ring tournament. I don't know if WWE has that type of willpower. I don't know if WWE has that type of balls, grapefruits, to pull off a move like that. That would be a pretty big stunt for them to do. But there's no other way. It's either Oba wins and we get the Brock Oba match early and Oba wins the World Championship at SummerSlam, or we're getting Jey Uso. Is there another factor at play? Is CM Punk that factor? He did tell Cody, you never know when a World Championship opportunity is just going to fall out of the sky. Is CM Punk a fortune teller? You never know when a World Championship opportunity is going to fall out of the sky. Is it going to fall out of the sky in Baltimore? In the King of the Ring tournament? Is that what he's alluding to? I don't know. I don't know. If we get Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam chat, I think you will see right here on this channel a rant as epic as the Pat McAfee stuff from WrestleMania season. We don't want it. We don't care for it. We never asked for it. And the fact that WWE is going back to that after diminishing the role of Yeet, after diminishing the aura farming, after diminishing Jey Uso as a performer, to be a background player to Roman Reigns, for him to win the King of the Ring tournament and main event one of the nights of SummerSlam against Cody Rhodes is absolutely deplorable, reckless, careless, lazy. I don't give a fuck about the fan base creative I have ever seen. There is literally nobody that genuinely wants to see that match main event, a SummerSlam main event. Nobody. And if you do tell me you're interested, you're a fucking liar. Out of everybody that you had, out of all the options you had, that's what you go with? Let me see them do it. I said it last week. Get ready for Jey Uso and Cody. Roman already told him, go win the tournament, go bring the other title back to the Bloodline. Let me see them do it. We're already sick and tired of the Bloodline story. Now you're going to do a side quest Bloodline story with Jey Uso? Ridiculous. JD, how you know? I know. I know. We're going to get into this show. A lot of women's matches on tonight's show, which didn't really make this show that exciting. But we did get a Queen of the Ring quarterfinal. And we did get a great back and forth between Sami and Cody, which we will go over. All of the dialogue between both of them. One of the best segments all year on WWE TV. This is your SmackDown post show for June 12th, 2023. 26. Tonight we're sponsored by my great friends over at Hims. Hims.com/scripts. Make sure you guys use that promo code scripts. We'll talk about my friends over at Hims a little bit later on in the show. If you missed any of the content this week on the channel, go and check out everything we've done. We were live on Monday. We were live on Tuesday with Tuesday Night Titans episode 150. So go check that out. Always some great discussion there. If you guys aren't watching Tuesday Night Titans, I don't know what you're doing. Wednesday night we were live, unfortunately, for what was a dismal episode of AEW Dynamite. They got absolutely raped in the ratings thanks to the NBA Finals and what is being called the greatest NBA Finals game of all time. Rightfully so. Thursday, we uploaded a video on the CM Punk rumors and speculation. Go check that out, man. Really good stuff there. Tonight, we're live for Friday night, and this weekend, I will have a video up on this Vince McMahon story where it is now reported that Vince and Janelle Grant are going into private arbitration, and now both the WWE shareholder lawsuit and the Janelle Grant lawsuit are going to be behind us very, very quickly. Vince is moving on, and Vince will be a free man. Does that mean Vince is coming back to WWE? You would be surprised to see how many people want Vince McMahon back in the chair running Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown. Do I think it's going to happen? No. I do not think that Vince is going to be back in the company creatively. That would be business suicide for TKO. But you never know. These are the same people that lied to allow him to get back onto the board of directors. These are the same people that deleted pertinent text messages on Langus. These are the same people that covered up everything that Vince McMahon did while knowing what he did day in and day out, whether they want to admit it or not. And Vince chose Ari to do business with. Why do you think that is? There's a soft spot for Vince McMahon in that circle. And if there is a company that is going to bring him back, it would be Ari Emanuel and TKO. We'll probably talk about that this weekend. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Make sure you guys go and check out the new merch on Fourth Wall. We now have new merch. Tuesday Night Titans now available. Best of the best. We'll take on Metallica's Ride the Lightning there. Go pick that up today. Fourthwall.com. Love it. Shout out to my guy Sal Rex who did that design. And if you guys want to support the show, super chats are open. Hit that thumbs up. I got the wrong screen. This is not Dynamite. Oh my goodness. No, we don't want Wednesday night, man. We don't want Wednesday night, man. Come on now. What are we doing? What are we doing? I can only handle one Wednesday. Super chats are open. And leave a comment down below. All that stuff helps us out in the YouTube algorithm. Can you imagine I had to review Dynamite twice in a single week? Can you imagine? Especially with that show. Oh, that show we got on Wednesday. Show was so bad, Jesse couldn't wait to get the fuck out of here. Start things off on Friday night. Backstage, Nick Aldis said Gunther hasn't told him anything since last week, but he told him that he would reveal it tonight. Cody was fine with that. He's speaking to Cody. Camera stayed on Cody as he met the Usos backstage. Jey Uso told Cody he's going to win the whole tournament, and he says he's coming after his title at SummerSlam. Cody says he hopes he wins, And he hopes it's his decision and not Roman's. He also said if anybody deserves to win this tournament and challenge for the WWE Championship, it's Jey Uso. I would disagree. I disagree with Cody Rhodes. We go right to ringside with Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett. Joe Tessitore is talking about Rhea Ripley and the knee injury she suffered in Italy. Wade Barrett said that Rhea Ripley's knee is being evaluated and how she responds to treatment will determine the ETA for her return. Now, I haven't heard anything that Rhea Ripley's actually hurt. She may be banged up and it may be a minor thing, but WWE might be playing it off as something more serious. I haven't heard that she was hurt. I hope to God that she's not hurt. That would be awful. Just at a time when SmackDown's women's division right now is really rocking and rolling, and they got a lot of good momentum, especially where Monday Night Raw's women's division isn't even on the same level. And it swung the other way pretty quickly. In the beginning of the year, it was all Monday. Friday was the weakest. Now Friday's the strongest, and Monday's the weakest. Rhea Ripley goes down. That's a big loss, and she's the women's champion. So hopefully she's all right. She's factored into major plans at SummerSlam. Kathy Kelly. She was in a little drama this week after she mentioned something on Chris Van Vliet's podcast about Kevin Owens' son. And then the wife of Kevin Owens reached out to everybody on Instagram, kind of blasting Kathy Kelly for blasting to the public about Kevin Owens and the family and their son. She said, why would she do that? I don't know what the whole story is there. I didn't really do much investigative work on it. But I think Kathy was talking about her relationship with Kevin Owens backstage. Now, they're very good friends backstage. I don't know. There's always some sort of drama. And most of the time, the drama is more interesting than the drama that's actually happening on screen, which is sad. So hopefully everything is all right there. She interviewed Jade Cargill with Michin and B-Fab. She asked Jade if she's feeling pressure to repeat as Queen of the Ring. Jade said she's built a career on pressure. She said she can win it twice if she won it once. Michin and B-Fab then backed her up with some comments saying that, yes, that's going to happen. You're looking at your new queen 2 years in a row. Jade looked into the camera and told Rhea she's taking her title back at SummerSlam. Charlotte Flair, Jade Cargill, Sol Ruca, and Lyra Valkyria. This was the first match here on Friday night. The final quarterfinal match in the Queen of the Ring tournament. This went 18 minutes. The only thing people are going to remember here is Jade really trying desperately to keep her weave on her head. It's the only thing people are going to remember from this match. And it was very, very noticeable. All in all, this wasn't bad. I thought Sol Ruca looked really good here. She's finally starting to put the pieces together. Some of those initial nerves joining the main roster are starting to dissipate, which is a great deal. Lyra is always solid. Charlotte, you know her body of work. She's always out there showing up to work. Jade was the wild card here because you never know with WWE. They love their Jade Cargill. All in all, I thought this was a decent match. We'll pick it up here. Lyra, after a commercial break, kicked Charlotte high in the head, and then she suplexed Sol Ruca. Jade went after Lyra. Lyra ended up DDTing her. Charlotte then gave Lyra a natural selection, which looked fucking terrible because I don't know what had happened, but I don't think it was Charlotte's fault. I don't think it was Charlotte's fault. So Soul rallied. She comes back. Jade powerbomb Lyra, who had Charlotte on her shoulders. There was a setup here where I don't know what Lyra and Charlotte were doing in the corner. Bro, there is the stereotypical avalanche spot in these multi-person matches. Bro, at one point, Jade was about to powerbomb both of these women off the top rope, and then Jade, all of a sudden, just picture it, the avalanche spot in the corner. Jade put her arms down, and she's just looking up, waiting for them to finally get in position to do whatever the fuck they were planning to do. So Jade, like a dumbass, had to sit there and wait for them to get in position. And then when they finally did, she finally took both of them off the top rope. And I don't know what the fuck they were going for. A fall-away slam of sorts. Power bomb, fall-away slam combination. It looked awful. It looked awful. For some weird reason, we got a chant of "This is awesome." Rhode Island is not awesome, and they were not awesome. They were largely dead for most of the night. Charlotte and Jade, they were in there. They exchanged chops back and forth. Charlotte landed a handspring clothesline. Lyra and Soul battled middle of the ring. They were in there alone. Lyra landed a wrecking ball kick on Jade. Soul then landed a flip dive off the top rope onto all three opponents, who were just waiting down below because they were going to look up. They were going to look up, waiting for the spot, waiting for the person jumping to hit them. Maybe this wasn't as good as I made it sound. I said this was decent. Looking over my notes, it doesn't sound good. Soul looked good, though. So Ruca is getting a babyface reaction here. She landed a slingshot splash on Lyra, which looked fucking fantastic. And we go into a second commercial break. So we come back from the second break. Charlotte knocked Jade off balance on the top rope. Soul joins Charlotte for a double suplex on Jade. Apparently Jade was trying to fix her weave. Soul landed a springboard somersault clothesline onto both Charlotte and Lyra. Jade continued to hold her hair in place with one hand as she's trying to punch away at the other women. She gave Charlotte a jaded, made the cover. Lyra kicked Jade off of Charlotte at a 2. Lyra then lifted Jade. Jade slipped free and continued to use one hand on her head, holding her weave in place, and the other to try and professionally wrestle here. Soul surprised Jade with a soul snatcher for a 2. With Lyra yanking Soul off the cover from the outside. Lyra then leapt off the top rope and landed a leg drop on the back of Jade's neck. Charlotte gave Lyra a natural selection, but I thought they fucked it up again. But this time it was purposely done because Lyra actually turned it into a pinfall, and she leveraged Charlotte's shoulders down to a 2 count. Charlotte then quickly puts Lyra in the figure 4, bridged into the figure 8, and after 18 minutes, Charlotte advances to the Queen of the Ring semifinal. She now meets Liv Morgan on Friday Night SmackDown next week. I'm assuming they'll also do Jade and Javon on Friday because Oba and Dominic is happening on Monday, I think. And maybe they'll do... What are they doing on Monday? They're doing Io and Raquel on Monday, Oba and Dominic on Monday, and then they'll do Charlotte Liv on Friday, and then Jay and Javon on Friday. Charlotte winning was the right choice. Sol Ruca is the Intercontinental Champion. She doesn't need to advance in the Queen of the Ring. She did look good. Out of everybody, I thought she looked the best here. Jade, you guys know me and Jade Cargill, not a fan. I thought she had a terrible match, largely because most of the match she was trying to hold her head and her weave in place. Lyra was always a dark horse. I could have seen Lyra advance and get a very big upset victory here because she does have some history with the Judgment Day. She does have some history with Liv Morgan. I could have seen them do that if they wanted to go that and then maybe do Liv in the finals with Raquel. I don't think that's going to happen. Charlotte is the right winner. Charlotte is going to beat Liv Morgan. Stephanie Vaquer. See, this is the problem that we talked about with Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar. WWE would be foolish to run the same spot 2 times for the men and the women on the same show. Does Brock take out Oba on Monday? Actually, you know what? Never mind. This is happening on Friday. They could do the same thing on 2 different shows on 2 different nights. We may end up seeing Brock on Monday against Oba. Stephanie Vaquer is going to come out and screw over Liv Morgan. I do believe that Stephanie is due to come back. I do think Stephanie and Liv is going to be planned for Night of Champions. That's my prediction. I think Stephanie is going to help Charlotte win this match. I think Charlotte's going to advance. And I think Io and Charlotte is going to be the final of the Queen of the Ring. To me, that's the best match. Charlotte, Io, not Liv and Raquel. Not Liv and Io. Not Charlotte and Raquel. Charlotte and Io is the best final for the Queen of the Ring. Charlotte then wrestling Io at Night of Champions is going to give us Io challenging Liv for the WWE Women's World Championship. You can go and do Jade and Charlotte if you want. You could go do Charlotte and Rhea if you want. There seems to be some sort of direction going on here. I would absolutely do. Now, this is just me. I'm doing Io and Liv. I'm doing Charlotte and Rhea. Those are the 2 matches. Those are the 2 big matches at SummerSlam for the Women's Championships. You can't get any bigger than that right now. Jade looks like she's still feuding with Charlotte, but at the same time, she's feuding with Tiffany Stratton over the United States Championship. I can see Tiffany and Jade end up being the United States Championship match at SummerSlam. And then Sol Ruca, I don't know what Sol Ruca does with the IC Championship. You got Bayley, who could be a factor in the IC Championship. I don't know where they go with that. Roxanne Perez is always an option there for the Intercontinental Championship. That's a little bit more of a question mark. But I'm absolutely going Io and Liv, and I'm going Charlotte and Rhea for both championship matches. You could do Io and Rhea. I see Io and Rhea in the chat list, and that would be my first choice. I mean, that was my preferred match at WrestleMania. Non-title. I've said it for weeks. That would have been the best match to do. That would have been the star-studded match that they had for the women's division on WrestleMania, and it would have made WrestleMania a much better show than what we got. Probably would have been given only 8 minutes, but seeing how things transpired at WrestleMania this year, I'm glad it didn't happen. They could absolutely do Io and Rhea. They could absolutely do that. They could do Io Rhea. They could do Jade and Charlotte. They could do Stephanie and Liv. Or maybe they do something else with Liv. Maybe we get Liv and Raquel. Maybe we get Liv and Roxanne. I don't know. That could absolutely be a possibility. But why would WWE make the Monday Night Raw women's division weaker by taking Io and putting her on Friday to feud with Rhea when the Monday Night Raw women's division isn't really the best or in the best state right now? I don't know. It's kind of silly to even do that. I think we keep it simple. Io Liv. Liv is not going to win the tournament. Io will beat Charlotte. Io Liv at SummerSlam. Charlotte and Rhea, they can get to where they got to be via other means, another road. I think that's the best match to do on SmackDown side. So we'll see what happens with that. But Charlotte was absolutely the right winner. Keep in mind, Crown Jewel's coming up. If Io does win the championship, we could see Io versus Rhea at Crown Jewel. And if WWE really wants to have a great show for Crown Jewel, because it's not too early to think about, because, I mean, it's July, we're going into SummerSlam. It's already halfway through June. We're going into July. Before you know it, it'll be 4th of July weekend. Crown Jewel. We could be looking at Cody and Roman, Rhea and Io. By SummerSlam, I think the Judgment Day women have a complete blow-up and Liv loses the championship. That's the way it should be. And then we get a Liv-Roxy feud. Kathy Kelly interviewed Tiffany Stratton and asked why she helped Charlotte out there. She was out there earlier in the match. B-Fab and Michin were out there as well, so there was some backup here to put the other women who were on the outside at bay. So she was asked by Kathy Kelly why she helped Charlotte. Tiffany said that she and Charlotte aren't best friends, but they don't want Jade as their champion. When Michin and B-Fab charged at Tiffany, Chelsea Green arrived immediately, waving a kendo stick, chasing both Michin and B-Fab away. Tiffany made these weird faces at Chelsea and was surprised that Chelsea ended up saving her from an oncoming attack from Michin and B-Fab. I don't really understand the relationship here with Chelsea Green and Tiffany Stratton. Not really a big fan of it. I find no interest in it. That's just me. Jacob Fatu was backstage. He approached the Usos. Jimmy asked what he was doing here on Friday Night SmackDown. Fatu said he was sent by the tribal chief. Jimmy says, oh yeah, that's funny because we already called the play. It's the tribal chief's play. And Jey is handling business on his own. Fatu says he's not there for Jey. I'm here to do business and speak to Solo Sikoa. Jacob then asks Jimmy what he's doing here. Jimmy says he was there to make sure absolutely nobody interferes. Fatu says, well, then they can handle their own business. And he walked away. He was here to talk to Solo Sikoa. Okay. I don't know what that is going to entail, but again, I'm not all that keen on where the Bloodline story is going. We got a vignette with Blake Monroe. She's mentioned Rhea Ripley. She's mentioned Tiffany Stratton. And now this week she's mentioning Charlotte Flair. She discussed Charlotte Flair. She said she is one of the greats. She said she and Bliss are a match made in codependent heaven. She said she has never burdened herself with any friends. Boy, they're really taking their time with Blake Monroe, huh? Makes you wonder where and when she's going to appear finally on SmackDown in a meaningful way. That's one I'm excited about, and one I would be very upset if they fumble. The woman is main roster ready, the woman is TV ready, and the woman is championship level. Hopefully they don't fuck it up. I do like that we're getting vignettes every week. This is the old school way of doing things. You put a face to a name and a voice to a performer and a character to the audience. When she's ready to debut, you know what to expect. It's the way to do things. They went backstage to Gunther approaching Nick Aldis. Aldis asked what the stipulation would be. Gunther said he can't trust his vetting of officials, so he will pick the referee for the match. Aldis asked who it would be. Gunther says he was contemplating and he'll let him know by the end of the night. Kathy Kelly then interviewed Finn Balor backstage as Finn Balor was making a return to Friday Night SmackDown. He says he couldn't be happier to be on Friday Night SmackDown. Oh, Finn. Oh, Finn is fibbing us, Chad. He doesn't believe that for a single solitary second. He says this is a new chapter. R-Truth walked in and he welcomed Balor to SmackDown. He then put his arm around Finn Balor and said the Judgment Day is finally back together again. Truth says he wants to figure out the proper way to introduce Royce Keys into the Judgment Day. He then confused the words constipate and consummate. Sounds like a Vince McMahon thing. We're still doing Vince McMahon humor in 2026. Constipate. Damian Priest then walked in and glared at Balor, who very angrily welcomed him to Friday Night SmackDown because he hasn't forgotten what the Judgment Day did to Damian Priest. Little throwback there. Truth says it got awkward, but Balor would become king of the ring tonight, and then they can build the castle behind the Judgment Day. Truth says, we love you, Finn. Priest says, no, we don't. He says he thought he knew Balor, but then you look at what he did to me. Why would you trust him? Priest says they will retain the titles next week against the MFTs because it's just me and you, and that's all we need. Truth then said, the Judgment Day is on the rise once again. He thinks the Judgment Day is getting back together because Finn Balor is now on SmackDown. Paige and Brie Bella. Tag team match here against Fatal Influence. This was Fallon Henley and Lainey Reed. This was a non-title match. You know, the less I see of Paige and Brie Bella, the better these shows are. Most of the first hour on Friday Night SmackDown was dominated by women's wrestling. The only thing that we got from the men are backstage segments. I don't really know why this was needed, but they did have a segment last week where Fatal Influence beat the shit out of Paige and Brie Bella backstage after Fatal Influence interrupted their photo session. So back from the break here, we'll pick it up after the break. Brie attempted to fight out of her corner. She was held in the Fatal Influence's corner. Lainey Reed attempted a suplex on the apron. Paige blocked it. She slid underneath both Lainey Reed and Fallon Henley and tagged in Paige. Snap German by Paige on Reed, which looked very good. She put a PTO on Reed, forced Henley to make a break. Henley then got thrown out as Paige connected with Rampage, a little too stiff, I would say. That looked like it fucking sucked. 1-2, and Henley broke up the count. Lainey Reed took a brutal Rampage by Paige. Drop kick by Brie Bella to Fallon Henley. Lainey Reed hit her with a knee. A roll-up by Paige. The referee was distracted. The referee was all over the place. This referee was terrible. I mean, this referee was distracted by every little detail. Something happening elsewhere. He's over there. He's over here. He's over there. I mean, this guy was all over the fucking place. He was like a ping pong ball in there. So, drop kick by Brie to Fallon Henley. Lainey hit her with a knee. Roll up by Paige. Referee was distracted. Brie Bella was unintentionally distracting the referee for whatever reason. I don't fucking know. Paige had the PTO locked on Fallon Henley. JC Jane pulled Henley. And then the referee caught her interfering and kicked her out of the arena. So he sent her to the back. So she was ejected. Fallon Henley had a roll-up on Paige, and the referee was bickering with JC Jane. Brie flipped the roll-up in Paige's favor, and Paige got the 1-2-3 on Fallon Henley. The one thing I will say about this is that I like the intensity that Fatal Influence bring. I think they wrestle with aggression, and I like that. On the other hand, I could not give a single fuck about Brie Bella and Paige. I think this tag team has already fucking peaked. I mean, it peaked the moment that Paige showed up at WrestleMania and they won the tag team championships. It is uninteresting. I will say, though, Paige wrestled with some aggression as well. Brie Bella, what can I say? She's Brie Bella. She was all right. But these women's tag team championships, man, they are in a dark place right now. They put so much focus on these titles earlier in the year, man, and to see these titles just once again feel like nothing? I mean, they felt nothing then. They felt like nothing in January. I didn't really understand the push behind the women's tag team titles all of a sudden. You had them for fucking 7-8 years, and now all of a sudden you want to start pushing women's tag team wrestling to a point where it just dominated the show. And now the titles are on Brie and Paige. They're not even a real fucking tag team. There are no tag teams in the division I actually care about. Then you wonder why the tag team division and the tag team titles are dead. And nobody cares. You got to feature them on the show, though. When does Nikki get back? Maybe Paige is better off on her own. Sami Zayn. He was backstage talking to Johnny Gargano about how he just can't win no matter what he does. Candice LeRae told Johnny Gargano to do something. Sami took it as advice, and he thought Johnny Gargano was talking to him, and he thanked Johnny Gargano. Candice LeRae looked as confused as ever. She doesn't understand why Johnny Gargano was laying like a lazy sack of shit every single week. Can you imagine me, Johnny Gargano, being flown to Bologna, Paris, Turin, Baltimore, Rhode Island, to lay on a fucking production crate, and that is your only segment of the night? Is there an end in sight for this? Is Johnny going to miraculously wake up one week? I don't know. Backstage, we're at Danhausen's laboratory. Angel and Humberto Carrillo walk on in, and they are pleading with Danhausen to recurse the New York Knicks. Now, Angel says they'll get a huge payoff if the Knicks lose tomorrow. Berto then handed Danhausen a duffel bag full of human monies. Berto told him something in, I guess, about the Mexican soccer team in the World Cup, the FIFA World Cup. And then they walk away. So Danhausen, he's being forced to recurse the Knicks because Berto and Angel want the Spurs to win tomorrow night. Matt Cardona walked on in and he asked him something. I guess he asked him not to curse the Knicks. Danhausen says he'd need money. So I guess now everybody's coming to Danhausen like he's some fucking fortune teller. Like some one of them fucking fortune tellers on the Atlantic City Boardwalk that fucking suck you out of $15 to read your palm. Zack Ryder didn't have any money. Or Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona didn't have any money. Maybe if he sold some of his action figures, he would. He didn't have any money. Danhausen told him he liked his watch. So Matt Cardona gave him the watch he was wearing on his wrist, and he threw it in the duffel bag. The same duffel bag that had human monies in it, delivered by Berto and Angel. Kit Wilson walks on in and said Miz is stuck in some strange mode since he cursed him. So Miz is standing there reading off all of his catchphrases, and he looks like a zombie. His hair is still standing up straight as if it was electrocuted. He got electrocuted last week. He still looks like he was suffering from the electrocution. He was reading off every catchphrase that he's ever had. He sounded like a robot. He looked like one of them inpatients at a fucking insane asylum. Kit Wilson didn't know what to do. He wanted Danhausen to reverse the Miz curse. Danhausen said no, he liked Miz this way. Kit then accidentally electrocuted himself, and he fell to the ground, and he laid there, electrocuted. I don't know what you guys think about that. I mean, this is what you would expect. Listen, I would much rather see this from Danhausen than Danhausen wrestle with fucking the Mexican midget team out there. The Mini-Housens. This is what you would come to expect with a Danhausen appearance on a weekly television show. It was given 2 minutes. This is innocent. Leaving him to these types of skits and these backstage segments with Kit Wilson and The Miz, who aren't serious characters on the show, it's fine. Berto and Angel. Matt Cardona's another story. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Matt Cardona. The fact that Matt Cardona's handing over his watch to Danhausen says a lot about what the company thinks about Matt Cardona. Yes, please come to this week's television. You'll be throwing your watch into a duffel bag of human monies handed to Danhausen. Thanks for coming. Sami Zayn. He made his way out to the ring. And this was easily the best segment of the entire night. This might have been one of the best segments that WWE did all year. Sami said the Ride or Dies showed up in full force for him in Europe. He asked where they were back here in the United States. He says they can boo him or ride with the last real good guy in WWE. He wore his last real good guy t-shirt. He was getting booed. He called Cody out to the ring because he wanted to clear the air with Cody once and for all. Cody made his entrance. He comes on out after aura farming his entrance for about 5 minutes. Cody asks, what do they want to talk about? At this point, Sami Zayn asked him to stop being the American Nightmare for just 1 second and just have a real honest conversation with Sami Zayn. He says he keeps helping Cody, but finds himself paying the price for each time he helps Cody. So fans did the European soccer-style chants, Cody, Cody Rhodes. Sami said he left Cody, but he deserved it that time, meaning last week. That was after the suicide dive accidental on Sami Zayn. Cody didn't do it on purpose. He walked away. Sami walked away. He says when he did decide to help him, he ended up flat on his back and Cody was standing tall. He said now he has to ask if it's an accident. He asked him to tell him the truth. Fans started chanting, Sami sucks, Sami sucks. Keep that in mind. It becomes a part of the promo. Cody told Sami he's asking him basically to explain pro wrestling to him. I don't need to explain pro wrestling to you, Sami. You're already one of the best in the world. He said these things happened in the midst of competition. Cody then brings up Sami's new official WWE licensed t-shirt. And he said he believes it's more than Sami. He says they shouldn't be standing here right now. He said the biggest moment of his career from WrestleMania 40 is special to him. And it was special because Sami was there with him. Sami says he was the first guy in that ring on that night when Cody finished his story and won the WWE title. CM Punk, Randy Orton, Seth Rollins. CM Punk was out there. Sami Zayn was out there. Kevin Owens, all these guys out there. So he's listing off these other wrestlers out there. He said he was happy for him on that night. That's because I am a good guy, says Sami. He asks how many of those other guys are his friends now. Seth Rollins hates him. Kevin Owens hated him. Randy Orton turned on him. CM Punk probably don't care about him one way or another. He asked if the problem was all of those guys or Cody. Maybe it's you that's the problem. Cody said everything is about to change. You work in the WWE. We live by change. You never know when it's going to come. He says you have to be better than you were the day before. Sami asked him to level with him. Cody says he was. He says he wasn't able to be honest with the others in a way he can be with him. Sami told him not to talk in platitudes. Cody started yelling that he's taking all this fire and listening to all this bullshit. He says they're chanting Sami sucks because lately he does suck. All he does is whine and cry. You're not the Sami Zayn they fell in love with. You're something else. If anything, you're desperate. He told him not to pretend it's about anything other than the WWE Championship. He said since he has the WWE title, you never will, he says. Sami slaps Cody in the face. Sami immediately says he's sorry. He's patting Cody on the shoulders. He's trying to fix Cody's suit. He wanted to put his arm around Cody. Cody is standing there with this angry scowl on his face. You see him turning beet red. Sami said he was out of line. I'm sorry. Cody slaps Sami in retaliation. And then he yelled away from the microphone, "Are we good? Are we all good now? Are we done?" Sami turned and left the ring. He then picked up a chair, jumped on the apron. Sami had bad intentions. He threw the chair down. He walked away as Cody stared at him. Sami looked like he was breaking down as he walked up the aisleway and to the back. This was a great segment. I said what I said in the beginning of the show. Sami Zayn is the most interesting character in all of WWE. He has been for weeks now. He's the most interesting thing in this Cody and Gunther feud. It's not even Gunther and Cody. It's Sami and Cody. Gunther's like a third player. He's like a third wheel. Sami's the most interesting character in all of WWE right now. He may be the most interesting character in all pro wrestling. Sami's the special guest referee for Cody and Gunther next week. Main event, commercial-free, WWE title on SmackDown. It will result in a fuck finish. It will result in Cody, Sami, and Gunther in a triple threat match for the WWE Championship at Night of Champions. And I don't care if you are a ride or die. I don't care if you're an in-between. And I don't care if you don't like Sami Zayn at all and don't think he's a WWE Championship type of guy. I don't care. If we get to Night of Champions and we get Sami Zayn in the WWE Championship match of Night of Champions, whether it's a one-on-one match with Gunther, whether it's a one-on-one match with Cody, or a triple threat match with both of them, I am belting Sami Zayn at Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia. You will never get another opportunity to make it feel right. And now, after so many months of him being directionless, it makes sense. We need to do it. We need to do it. A month with Sami Zayn as the WWE champion is not going to tank the ratings. It's not going to make SmackDown worse than it has been. It can't get worse than it has been. It's awful. But when you take the most interesting character and the most intriguing aspect of the show and you make him the WWE champion in an unpredictable fashion, I don't know how you could look at that as a bad thing. The reason why the show is stagnant is because of the guy at the top currently that you call the WWE champion. And Cody's great, don't get me wrong. Cody's a masterful storyteller. His character is boring. It's boring. Sami Zayn holding the championship for 1 month is not going to kill WWE. especially with the reactions he's getting, how great of a promo he is, and the fact that Cody, the way he presented himself tonight when he got angry at Sami, there hasn't really been many people to pull that out of Cody Rhodes. Gunther hasn't even pulled that out of Cody Rhodes. Randy Orton didn't pull that out of Cody Rhodes. They fucked it up because they threw Pat McAfee in there. Seth Rollins didn't pull that out of Cody. Drew McIntyre didn't pull that out of Cody. Kevin Owens, maybe. I kind of chalked this up to being Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens was the last time we really felt like Cody pulled out that fucking Cody Rhodes. That angry Cody Rhodes. Sami Zayn is doing that to Cody now. I don't know how you don't like what's going on here. I thought this was great television. They cut to a backstage promo between Solo and Jacob Fatu. Fatu walked into Solo's dressing room. Solo asked, "What the hell do you want?" Fatu said, "I've been sent by the OTC. I have a message for you." He says, "It's been way too long and long enough. The OTC wants Solo to come home." Solo laughed and said, "That isn't home. That's a doghouse. And you're his lapdog." "What the hell happened to you, Jacob? You used to be a killer who everyone was afraid of." He says he was close to beating Roman twice, but now he's just delivering messages. He made you kneel down to him like a dog in front of the whole world. In front of our family, he yells. He yells, "That isn't how you treat someone that you love." Solo says he's not going back, so he should tell Roman he could go to hell. Fatu says, "Listen, I get it. I understand everything you're talking about and where you're coming from." He said he made his decision already and he's going to stay on business. He says now he's coming for Solo. Solo smiled and said, "Okay, Jacob. You go tell Roman if he wants me to come home, he can come get me himself." I don't know. What does that mean? Again, I don't like where we're going with this bloodline drama. Rey Fenix. He defended the AAA Cruiserweight Championship against Axiom. This was the first time that the AAA Cruiserweight Championship was defended on national television in the United States. There's a first time for everything, I guess, huh? You know what I think about when I see this chat? And I love Rey Fenix. The sad thing is, Rey Fenix can't buy himself television time on the brand that he was drafted to without the presence of another company's championship around his shoulder. It sucks that he had to go win the AAA Cruiserweight Championship to feel important on Friday Night SmackDown. So he takes the AAA Cruiserweight Championship and they put him on the show tonight defending the title. It's crazy. So Rey Fenix, he goes one-on-one here with Axiom. This was decent. Axiom's great. Rey Fenix is great. So the match starts. Fenix got a leaping drop kick on Axiom. Big dive through the middle rope onto Axiom outside the ring. Fenix leapt from a springboard position, but Axiom caught him. And we got some back and forth here with both of them trading counters back and forth. Suplex by Axiom, followed by a big punt kick to the chest. Axiom caught Fenix with a armbar. Fenix broke it up by reaching the ropes to break the hold. Axiom avoided a leap from Fenix as he met with a drop kick, and it drove him out of the ring. Axiom followed with a leaping moonsault from the ropes to the outside, and Fenix, he is down as we go into a commercial break. We come back from the break. Fenix, He is in a submission hold by Axiom. He gets out of it, leap out of the corner. Axiom caught him in a sleeper hold. Fenix caught him, and he hits him with some strikes, followed by a spinning kick on the top rope. Axiom stops Fenix. He attempts a Spanish fly. That was blocked. And they're still on the top rope. Fenix is going for that big adios amigo kick. He hits it. Crossbody, 2 count. Spinning kick by Fenix as he springboards back up, meets Axiom. German suplex, missile drop kick by Axiom. In the corner now, Axiom had Fenix in sight for his golden ratio finish. Fenix dodged it at the very last second and hits a brainbuster for a near fall on Axiom. Axiom rolled Fenix through with a cross arm breaker. Axiom, he turned that into a pin. He missed the kick in a corner, opened them up for a big kick again in the corner. Fenix got up on the middle rope as he and Axiom were going back and forth. He nailed the Spanish fly. Crowd pop for it. Big spinning kick by Fenix. One more. And then that left Axiom wide open for a big Mexican muscle buster for a 1-2-3. And Fenix wins and retains the AAA Cruiserweight Championship. I mean, there was nothing more to it than it just being a solid television match. Axiom's great. I'd love to see him and Nathan Frazier in the tag team division doing their thing. They're really fucking great when you allow them to be. And I'd love to see Fenix just stand on his own as his own performer. I don't know why we've gotten Penta to a point where he's great on Monday and Fenix is trailing so far behind. It's like playing Mario Kart and Penta had a blue shell and Rey Fenix is lagging behind in like fucking 18th place. And he's just getting bombarded with fucking Bullet Bill and banana peels and red shells. It's like he can't get any momentum. I don't understand why there's such a discrepancy between Rey Fenix and Penta. Good match, though. Just both guys are just terribly miscast. Trick Williams. And the issue of the United States Championship. Trick made his way out to the ring with Lil Yachty. Yachty did his introduction. Williams cut him short, stating that he lost last week in the King of the Ring qualifier, or the quarterfinal. He says he didn't like losing, but he woke up the next morning and something in him, he felt a fire in him that he hadn't felt in a very long time. It made him want to level up and bring SmackDown to new heights. Trick said he was the leader of the new school, and the fact that he lost last week pissed him off very much. It made him want to step his game up because his name was Trick Williams. He was the United States champion, Hollywood Trick, Mr. Lemon Pepper Steppers, Trick James. Ricky Saints interrupts. We go from having somebody that gets a loud reaction to somebody that gets no reaction in Ricky Saints. Carmelo Hayes interrupts Ricky Saints during his ring entrance. He power walks up the ramp to the ring and blows by Ricky Saints, shoving him in the process. He gets into the ring and he wanted to confront Trick Williams. So Carmelo's out here to talk about a United States title opportunity. Ricky Saints runs down to the ring, grabs a microphone. Hayes demanded that Trick pick somebody to be a contender for the United States title. Saints is complaining that he's already beaten Hayes and that the number one contender is looking right at him. He should be the one to face Trick Williams. Hayes and Williams kept arguing with one another. They go back and forth. Him and Ricky go back and forth. Williams ended up telling both Ricky and Carmelo to shut the hell up. Trick said their bickering didn't matter because he was going to stomp either one of them regardless. He said that until they figured it out, shut up while grown men are talking. Hayes was he was pushed into Trick Williams by Ricky Saints. And then Trick goes to the outside. Carmelo and Ricky Saints end up brawling. Trick Williams gets back into the ring because he's just had enough of these two clowns. He laid out both guys, and he ended up giving a bookend to Ricky Saints. So what we got here is WWE going around in circles until they decide who's actually going to get the United States Championship match against Trick Williams at Night of Champions. Because theoretically, if you look at it, Ricky Saints already beat Carmelo. They went to a count out, the second match. I think Carmelo beat him first, count out, and then Ricky Saints beat him last week. So now they 1-1. So they're doing like this unofficial best of 5, it looks like. So I guess the winner of next week's match, because they've already announced it for next week, is going to be Carmelo Hayes and Ricky Saints again. And the winner of that will hopefully get Trick Williams at Night of Champions for the United States Championship. Honestly, it should be Carmelo Hayes. Ricky Saints is new. He'll get an opportunity. It should be Melo. Melo deserves it more than Ricky does. Ricky just got here. You got to give that spot to Melo. Melo's not going to win, but you got to give it to Melo. Ricky is going to be fine. He'll get plenty of opportunities. He just got here. He's been on the main roster for about a month and a half. You can't bypass somebody that's given you everything and has some of the best matches in the company all year for someone you just called up. You got to give it to Carmelo. And here's my weekly question of the week. Where the fuck is Ilya Dragunov? Where is he? Is he under the Danhausen cloth in the laboratory? I don't know where the fuck he is and why he's off television. We've got no reports. We've got nothing in the news about Ilya Dragunov. There's no news of an injury. There's no news of anything. Visa issues, nothing. Where is Ilya Dragunov? You know, when you see someone missing for that many weeks after having such a large part of the show, you notice them, and then you start to ask questions. I don't know. I don't know where he is. Royce Keys was approached by Solo Sikoa, who warned him that the Bloodline was around to help Jey Uso win the King of the Ring. Solo said that Jacob Fatu was too far gone and that he apparently didn't want Keys to be a casualty in Roman Reigns' war. I do wonder if Royce Keys is actually going to end up joining the MFTs. I do think that Royce Keys would probably be better off as a heel than a babyface. Chelsea Green and Tiffany Stratton versus Michin and B-Fab. We didn't need this on the show tonight at all, but we got it. Michin and B-Fab beat Chelsea and Tiffany Stratton. Now, Chelsea Green tried to fight back against Michin. She got pushed into the corner. Instead, Green was on one of the top ropes as Michin hit her with a Hurricane Rana for a near fall. Chelsea threw Michin overhead with a Northern Light suplex. B-Fab tried to stop Chelsea. Green sent Michin out of the ring, and B-Fab ran into the ring post shoulder first. Just as the tag was made, Jade pulled Tiffany off the apron. This left Chelsea Green open for Michin Styles Clash. And that was it. Jade Cargill interfered and cost Tiffany and Chelsea the match. After the match, the baddies, or the not-so-baddies, attacked Tiffany Stratton 3-on-1, and Jade made eye contact with the United States Championship. I don't know where we're going. WWE's got a couple of options. Do they go Rhea and Charlotte? Do they go Io Liv? Do they go Jade Tiffany? What do you do with Alexa? Maybe WWE does something really bold. Maybe they turn Alexa Bliss heel on Charlotte Flair. Maybe we get Charlotte and Alexa. Maybe we get Io and Rhea. Maybe we get Roxanne or Stephanie versus Liv. And then Jade and Tiffany. How do we plug the pieces into the SummerSlam puzzle? There is 2 nights. You shouldn't be leaving anybody off the card, right? Does WWE speed up the Charlotte Alexa turn? Do they split? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how WWE fleshes it all out. Backstage, Julia, she confronted Kiana James, stating that she needed James' help with English and finding her matches, reading contracts for said matches. She didn't need Kiana to be a fighter. Julia said that James was using her all along. Now that her English is a whole lot better, Julia finally had the words to tell Kiana, and she slapped the shit out of Kiana James. I thought Kiana handled herself well here, speaking back to Julia, saying, I never needed you, and you're nothing more than a albatross, and all these other things that she said Julia was there, holding her back. I like the way Julia came off here. There's no reason why WWE can't push Julia. Julia's English is fine. Julia's English is better than Asuka, Io, and Kyrie's English. There's no reason why WWE should not be pushing Julia if her English is up to par. Cody Rhodes. He's backstage with Nick Aldis. He asked Aldis if they were really actually going through with Sami Zayn as the special guest referee. Aldis said Gunther got lawyers involved and he wanted to name the stipulation. My hands are tied. Cody said Sami is a wreck and emotionally all over the place. Sami Zayn walks in. And this is where I love the unpredictability of it, chat. Cody asks Sami, are we good? Sami hit him and he hit Sami. Sami said, I don't know, Cody. I'm a wreck. And emotionally, I'm all over the place. I'll see you next week. What is Sami Zayn going to do? Kathy Kelly interviewed LA Knight. She brought up that the Bloodline is in the building. He says he's in the building. He threw out insults at Roman Reigns and said the odds were against him. He said if he can defy the odds, and I quote, I'll wear that king to the front door of Roman Reigns and stomp him out. He also mistakenly said Jimmy was in the match and not Jey. Jimmy, Jey, I don't care. He botched twice in this promo. And then you want to know why LA Knight might not be pushed up the card the way the LA Knight fans want to see LA Knight pushed up the card. I'll wear the crown, he says, or I'll wear the king. He meant to say I'll wear the crown. I'll wear the king. It's a little bit difficult to do to wear the king, but it's LA Knight after all. Main event. King of the Ring, Fatal 4-Way, quarter final match. Royce Keys, Finn Balor, Jey Uso, and LA Knight. This was your main event of Friday Night SmackDown. This went 19 minutes. They gave both of these tournament matches a lot of time. So we go into a very early commercial break. Balor did a flip dive onto LA Knight and Jey Uso at ringside. We go right into a commercial break. So Keys, he got some offense after the break. Keys looked good here. I thought Royce Keys looked good here. This was probably the best he's looked. He drove Knight into the ring post, and then Jey super kicked him off the apron to ringside. Jey then leapt through the ropes and tried to tackle Royce Keys, but Keys blocked him and then dropped him onto the edge of the ring. Jimmy showed up at ringside. He had to stare down at Royce Keys. Solo then walked out because he didn't want Royce Keys to be fucked over by the Bloodline, so he's out there as the eyes for Royce Keys, and we go into another commercial break. So we come back from the commercial break. Balor's in control again. He leapt over the top rope at Royce Keys. Keys caught him, slammed him on the apron, a big power slam. Keys lifted Balor. Jey super kicked him in the face at ringside. LA Knight comes running in with a wrecking ball drop kick to Royce Keys. Jey and LA Knight start shoving each other. Balor gets in between them and says, hey, let's take him out. They point at Royce Keys. They then do a triple power bomb, very Shield-like, to Royce Keys, and they put him through the commentary desk, and he goes through the commentary table. Balor, Knight, and Jey battled in the ring. Knight leapt onto the ropes in the corner. Balor blocked him and dropped him onto Jey. Balor then landed a coup de grace for a near fall. Keys yanked Balor off of the cover. He gets up from the table. Rubble is back in the match. He threw Balor over the barricade, this time taking Jimmy out with him. So Jimmy and Balor go over the timekeeper's barricade onto the floor. LA Knight kicked Keys from behind. Keys knocked into Solo. Knight hits Keys with a flying clothesline and then landed a big Russian leg sweep. Knight then gave Jey a Death Valley driver, inverted. He then gives Keys an inverted DDT. Knight did his double leap top rope elbow drop. He goes for a cover. He gets a 2 count on Royce Keys. He followed up with a BFT attempt. Keys shoved him away. Solo then gave LA Knight a Samoan spike as he jumped on the apron. Again, it's all legal. It's all legal. Keys landed the big spine buster. He made a cover. Jey landed a top rope splash on Royce Keys and covered LA Knight for the 1, 2, 3. LA Knight got taken out by Solo Sikoa. Jey Uso splashed Royce Keys and went to go pin LA Knight off of Solo Sikoa's Samoan spike. Solo looked on at ringside. He couldn't believe that Royce Keys lost. Jimmy celebrated with Jey in the aisleway, and there was this vision. There was this visual of Jey looking through the glass podium of the King of the Ring crown, and there was this visual with Jey looking through the glass, and the camera was filming him. They filmed him through the glass, looking at the crown. As the show went off the air, and he was yelling, Jey Uso is now in Yo City. We don't need Jey Uso to be in our city with the King of the Ring. I don't know what they're doing. I mean, the King of the Ring tournament is very convoluted as fuck. It really is. If Oba doesn't win the tournament, if we don't get Oba and Javon Evans in the finals and give us a throwback to their NXT days and the great matches that they had with Oba winning, I don't know what the fuck we're doing. I really don't. There's 3 ways to look at this. Because Dominic and Javon Evans are not factoring into the SummerSlam main event. It's either Jey Uso wins and wrestles Cody. It's either Oba wins and wrestles Roman. Or we get Oba taken out. Whoever fills in for Oba wins the tournament. And that person goes on to challenge Cody Rhodes. Because I firmly think that we're getting Rollins and Reigns at SummerSlam. That's what we're getting. I don't see WWE doing Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi before SummerSlam. I don't see them doing Brock and Oba at SummerSlam and at the same time giving Oba a world championship match at SummerSlam. I don't see that. I don't see it. Jey Uso and Cody is the last thing that I want. That is fucking awful. They cannot be that simple-minded. They can't. Triple H cannot be that stupid. It's either one of those 3 options. And Jey Uso winning is the absolute worst one of them all and should not even be a thought in anyone's head. Oba wins and wrestles Roman or Cody. Or Brock takes him out and whoever fills in for Oba wins the tournament. Whoever that may be. Orton, McIntyre, Punk, all due to come back before SummerSlam. Mostly Punk and Drew. Orton, he's a bigger question mark. I don't know. I don't know what we're doing. Not the worst SmackDown. Also, not very good. Too many women's matches on this show. We got to lessen that. The whole first hour was all women's matches. And then we got another women's tag team match in the second hour. Shows are not exciting when they're booked that way. They're not. They're not. And then Jey Uso winning. I can't see how that elicits any excitement. Sami and Cody had a tremendous segment. And if that was the one thing on this show that was good, I urge you guys to go check that out. It was really good. Thank you for all of the support tonight here on the SmackDown stream. We are going to get into the super chats right now. And then we're going to get on out of here. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Go check out all the great content on the channel. There's plenty of it. Super chats are open. Best way to support the show. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. You guys know the deal. Tonight we are sponsored by my great friends over at Hims. Hims.com/scripts. You guys are going to use that code SCRIPTS at checkout. You know what's my favorite part of modern wrestling? Watching wrestlers return after 6 months, looking like they trained in a secret underground hyperbolic chamber, while the rest of us gained 5 pounds just looking at pizza during Friday Night SmackDown. One guy disappears after WrestleMania looking normal, comes back for SummerSlam looking like he's about to fight Kratos in the main event of Night 2 of SummerSlam. I'm looking at you, Punk. Have you seen CM Punk? Meanwhile, normal people are out here fighting for their lives against late-night Uber Eats and cheat days that somehow last from Friday through Tuesday. And the frustrating part about weight loss is that everybody has goals. Actually reaching them, that's a completely different story. That's why Weight Loss by Hims is worth checking out. Hims now offers access to an affordable range of FDA-approved GLP-1 medications, including the Wegovy pill at its lowest price ever and the Wegovy pen. And what I like about Hims is that they make the entire process simple. Everything happens online. You connect with a licensed provider. They determine if your treatment is right for you, and if prescribed, your medication gets delivered directly to your door. No insurance needed. No awkward waiting rooms. No sitting next to somebody watching daytime television at full volume while you question every decision you made that led you right there. And Hims gives you more than just medication. You get access to 24/7 messaging with your care team, plus meal plans, recipes, fitness videos, sleep support, real tools to help you stay consistent. Because consistency matters. It matters more than crash dieting 2 weeks before beach season like a desperate Tony Khan creative rewrite. Now listen up. If you want to reach your goals, you got to visit hims.com/script to get a personalized, affordable plan that gets you. That's hims.com/scripts. hims.com/scripts. This is based on advertised cash price for 30-day supply of medication only. Membership required, fee not included, and billed separately. Weight Loss by Hims is not available in all 50 states. Wegovy is the registered trademark of Novo Nordisk AS. To get started and learn more, including important safety information, Wegovy clinical study information, and restrictions, please visit hims.com. Get to these super chats and then we'll get the fuck out of here, man. You guys have been awesome. I wish these streams were a little bit more awesome, but we get what we get on a Friday night, man. We know the shows are not really that good. Michael Krause with a $2 super chat. JDOTS, all gas, no brakes with it. SmackDown. Yeah. Thank you, Michael. Joseph Taylor with a $3 super chat. JD, do you like The Memory Remains by Metallica? I do. I do. Captain Solo with a $2 super chat. Jade Cargill's wig is the MVP tonight. Indeed. Michelle with a $2 super chat. Bloodline versus MFT's coming. One word, boring. Captain Solo with a $5 super chat. WWE has killed Rey Fenix. He wins the title, and he gets zero reaction. You could literally hear a mouse fart in the top row. All WWE's fault. The only way they get Rey Fenix back to where he needs to be is by teaming him with Penta. It's the only way. I am Batman. 6201 with a $50 super chat. Oba versus Dom kicks off Raw. Oba comes out. Brock beats down Oba. Dom thinks he's going to the finals, and Pierce says, I will come up with a replacement for you in the main event of Raw, and it's Orton or Drew, and they win King of the Ring. Challenge Cody at SummerSlam. What do you think? Or Batman, it could be CM Punk. If they go with Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes again, man, I'm not going to be all that enthused about that. I'm not. They have really tarnished my overall feeling about that after what they did at WrestleMania. Maybe they'll surprise me. Thank you, Batman. Captain Solo with a $5 super chat. And LA Knight eats the pin. Buried. Thanks for coming. Eli Drake to AEW Collision. Yeah. Yeah, it's looking more and more like he's on his way out. He's just never going to get to where fans think he should be. Fast Daddy with a $4.99. JD, you might want to sit this one out when it comes to the rants. I feel like Solo might have this one on TNT Tuesday night with Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. Might want to sit this one out when it comes to rants. I feel like Solo might have this one on TNT. Why would he be upset about it? I told him it was going to happen. And I told him Sami Zayn was going to be the special guest referee at next week's SmackDown during the WWE Championship match. I may be 2 for 2. Caden with a $1.99, no message. Thank you, Caden. Michelle with a $5 super chat. Cody can't even main event his own show. Disgrace. And the bigger disgrace is Jey winning King of the Ring. I hope to God we are not getting world champion Jey Uso again. We're not. We're not. Johnny Cloud with 57 months, 3 more months, and I will be a 5-year member. Best channel on YouTube, hands down. Thank you, brother. I don't know if I'm the best channel on YouTube, but I mean, we got our own little space here in the IWC, man. There's nobody doing what we're doing. Mark Carpenter with a $10 super chat. JD, love the show. Lifelong Braves fan. Big props for wearing a hat in Mets country. Royce Keys was blown up. God, I hate Jey Uso. Yeah, Braves are struggling right now. They're a little injury ridden. It's all right. It's all right. They'll bounce back. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate you, brother. Lavelle with a $5 super chat. If Rhea is forced to surrender the women's title, how would you book a new champion? Should the Queen of the Ring automatically become the champion? Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Chris with a 46 months. My daughter Brooklyn loves your stream. She loves the boring and the dark horse. She says, hi, JD, OTS for life. Chris and Brooklyn, thank you both for watching the show. I appreciate you. We got Q with a $4.99. We're really getting Jay versus Dom, man. Sleep emoji. Yeah. Qante, thank you, brother. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. WWE's got to pull an ace out of their sleeve, bro. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know. Ali with a $2 super chat. I'm so pissed WWE didn't give that win to Finn. I would have preferred Finn. Either way, it doesn't make a great SummerSlam main event. Stephen B with the $2 super chat. Watching your reviews makes WWE and AEW watchable. I appreciate that, man. I wish more people would show up to the streams. JM with a $5 super chat. Notice how tonight's show was actually good when the show consistently doesn't have MFT slop and no Nia Jax Legend putting on stinker matches. You would think they figured out the recipe. Now we just got to eliminate Brie and Paige and not have an hour and a half of women's matches on the show for a 3-hour show. JM Beer with the 13 months. This Gargano angle has been going on for nearly 4 months now. Remember the trilogy with Cole? Ciampa matches? Seems like an eternity ago. Bro, the fact that Gargano is being buried the way that he is, man, I don't know, man. Something fucking weird is going on back there. I cannot believe that Triple H thinks that this is all Johnny Gargano is worth. I can't. Michael with a $2 super chat. Cat costume, LOL. Jorge with a 7 months. JD, what's your favorite CM Punk rivalry? Not counting the one with Cena. Mine's the one with Jeff Hardy. Favorite wrestling video game? Much love. My favorite CM Punk feud? MJF. If I can't name Cena, MJF. My favorite wrestling video game? No Mercy. No Mercy and the original WWE or WrestleMania the arcade game. Captain Solo with a $2 super chat. Jade's wig got sent down to NXT. Needs more work. Lennon.
But JD, Jey Uso is still over, JD from NY067.
Mr. Premium with a $9.99. Hey, JD, I'm currently taking a vacation in Florida. I know you've mentioned going there on occasion. Just curious about some suggestions for fun activities as I may have a free day or two in the week. I don't know, bro. Florida's quite vast. Where in Florida are you? I love the Florida Keys. I think the Keys are great. Had a great time. I had a great time in Florida when I was down at the Keys. I drove all the way down there. It was fucking great. I don't know, man. Find yourself a nice whiskey bar. Orlando. I've only been to Orlando and the Florida Keys and Miami. And the first thing I usually do when I go anywhere is coffee, and then alcohol. Anything else that comes my way, it's by happenstance. Corporal Poon with a 10 months. This show sucks. Get ready for World Champ Jey Uso and his band of sickos. Skeet, skeet, skeet. I mean, yeet. Triple GPT devours Raw. Dong. Yeah. Man, why don't you tell me how you really feel about Triple H, huh? Don Stoney with a $5 super chat. Shout out to Don Tony, Wrestling Soup, Spitball Media, and as always, RIP Kevin Castle. Thank you, Don Stoney. We love Don Stoney. Sam Vargas with a $5 super chat. I know it's not WWE related, but do you think Lashley will ever win a world title in AEW or it's over for him? Like, what are they doing? No. Bobby Lashley will never win a world championship. He's not an AEW lifer, nor is he an AEW sicko. Your boy, KJ with a $9.99. Hey, JD, just got back from being out all day for my birthday. Did I miss anything good on SmackDown? I doubt it, but I heard my guy Solo had a good promo with Jacob backstage. That was good. Not better than the Sammy Cody segment in the ring. Sammy and Cody had a tremendous segment. If you do anything, you watch that segment. And then you'll know why I'm putting the WWE title on Sami Zayn. Sim 3111 with the 6 months. It's ironic. Johnny Gargano is doing this on weekly television every week, but he was on LFG this past Sunday as guest coach on the show like normal. I wouldn't know that, Sim. I don't watch LFG. Pro wrestling is bad enough. I don't want to consume more pro wrestling. And Fast Eddie with a $4.99 super chat, and then that'll wrap us up here on this Friday night. Thank you, Fast Eddie, with the $4.99. JD, the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie is still the best movie of all time, the best turtle movie of all time. Saw it in theaters when it came out in the early 90s. That was a dark childhood movie. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. Can't beat those movies, man. Can't beat how good those movies were. Same thing with Mortal Kombat and Jurassic Park. All the originals. All the original movies were great. The Mummy. The original Mummy with Brendan Fraser. Like the first one. Tremendous movie. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed tonight's stream. Let me know what you think. Comment section is yours. Sound off in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think of Sami Zayn, Cody, where we're going into Night of Champions. Or if you care at all, man. Maybe you don't. I don't know. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me on this Friday. We'll have some more content up tomorrow. We'll talk about Vince McMahon or Sunday. One or the other. I don't know. Depends on how I feel. Maybe I'll save it for Sunday. It's late now. I was going to record something at the end of this stream. As soon as the stream was over, I was going to record some content. I don't think I want to do that right now. I think I'm just going to take it easy. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Go and check out all the great content on the channel, including yesterday's Punk video. Big rumors on CM Punk. We kind of blow up all these geeks in the community that think that Punk is disgruntled with WWE or comically think that CM Punk is going back to AEW. Go check that out. And then, as always, check out my sponsor for tonight's show, my great friends over at Hims. Hims.com/scripts. Until next time, guys, I'll see you in the sub boxes sometime this weekend. And we'll be back live on Monday for Monday Night Raw right here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.